The SEC's legal battle with Ripple has entered a new chapter, one that, according to several legal voices, no longer involves XRP as an asset. That's right. While the lawsuit began as a challenge to the very status of XRP, it now appears the remaining legal fight is focused entirely on Ripple as a company, not the token itself. Let's go straight to the latest developments and what they really mean. Just yesterday, U.S. District Judge Analisa Torres formally denied a joint motion filed by Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. That motion requested an indicative ruling that would reduce Ripple's penalty from $125 million to $50 million and lift the permanent injunction restricting institutional sales of XRP. But Judge Torres rejected the motion. Her response was clear. The parties' private agreement cannot override the court's public and final judgment. She added that the dissolution of the injunction was tied only to their condition for ending the appeal, something they chose to include, not something the court required. However, she left the door open. Torres explained that Ripple and the SEC can still withdraw their appeals or continue with the appeal process through the Second Circuit. The choice is theirs. Now here's the part that's getting attention across the XRP community. Following the judge's ruling, community analyst Vet stated that the case no longer has anything to do with XRP. According to Vet and other legal commentators, including Ripple's chief legal officer Stuart Alderdi, the SEC's challenge is no longer directed at XRP's classification, but rather Ripple's past institutional sales. Alderdi summarized the court's position this way. Ripple and the SEC now face two options: either pursue the appeal or drop it entirely. But crucially, the judgment does not affect XRP's legal status as a non-security. Let's recall a key moment in this case. In July 2023, Judge Torres issued a summary judgment declaring that XRP itself is not a security. This was a major win for Ripple and the broader crypto community. Importantly, the SEC chose not to appeal that specific part of the ruling, effectively agreeing with it. Since that point, the focus of the case has shifted from whether XRP is a security to how Ripple sold XRP in the past. The SEC has taken issue particularly with institutional sales, transactions directly between Ripple and large investors, rather than those made through public markets. Interestingly, the SEC has already withdrawn its appeal related to Ripple's programmatic sales, those made through exchanges and retail channels. That leaves only one narrow issue: whether Ripple's institutional sales violated securities laws, and if so, what penalty is appropriate. Community member Zach Rector offered a helpful summary of where things stand now. He emphasized three key points. 1. The SEC has backed away from its broader war on crypto. Many crypto-related enforcement actions have been dropped or softened recently, possibly reflecting a shift in regulatory strategy. 2. XRP is not a security. This legal status has been affirmed by the court and remains untouched in current proceedings. 3. Ripple has changed its practices. The company has restructured how it handles XRP sales to ensure compliance moving forward. So what happens next? Ripple and the SEC have a few options. They could refile their joint motion, possibly with stronger justification, or they could withdraw their appeals and accept the final judgment as it stands, leaving the injunction and $125 million penalty in place. Either way, one thing is clear: XRP itself is no longer on trial. The token's legal status has been clarified, and the focus has narrowed to Ripple's corporate conduct. This shift has major implications, not just for XRP investors, but for the wider digital asset market. It means XRP can continue to operate in U.S. markets with legal clarity, something few other cryptocurrencies can claim right now. Let me know what you think. Should Ripple accept the judgment and move on, or keep pushing for a reduced penalty and lifted injunction? Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more crypto legal updates, and I'll see you in the next one.